This episode contains discussions around drug use and sex work. Discretion is advised. If you or someone you know needs help, please contact a local support agency.
And welcome to Tuku Talks, the podcast where we talk about shit that matters to rangatahi. I'm one of your hosts, Janaye Henry.
I'm the other host, Turia Schmidt-Picky.
And once again, we are sitting in the boots of our cars in a Newmarket car park. You might hear boy races, you might hear girl races, you might hear rumbuxes, you might hear rain, you might hear sirens, you might hear chopters. That's a helicopter.
Yeah.
You can hear
Chopters.
But what we're talking about today, very fascinating. I'm interested. We're talking about sort of the sex industry and sex work, and we are joined by a very special guest I frickin' adore. I've been obsessed for ages. Over in a boot, we have Holly Mae. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Welcome to Tamaki. You're up from Ponaki, and welcome to the boot of a car. How you going?
Good. Bit tired from getting up early this morning, but all good.
Yes, stunning. Can you tell us a little bit about what your role is and in the sex industry, sex work?
I'm kind of a freestyler.
Ish.
I've done a few different things. Like I've done full service. I've done, like OnlyFans. Right now, I don't know if I have a role, but I just kind of do whatever I want. That's my role. Yeah.
Your own boss.
But I do. OnlyFans is my main income. Before that, I was doing full service.
Yeah.
Yeah, and before that, sales and marketing.
Oh, sales and marketing.
Yeah.
I guess it's all sales, and all marketing.
It is.
Yeah. It's all the
100%.
same shit. I guess also we should zoom up further than that for maybe the whānau listening who don't know. What is sex work? What is the sex industry?
Oh, well, sex work is an umbrella term for a whole lot of different things. Do you know what I mean? It could be selling pics, it could be doing OnlyFans, it could be doing full service, it could be stripping, it could be camming, I don't know. Yeah, it could be all sorts of different things.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
You were like...
I'm like, okay, yeah. And
Have you thought about it?
Is the sex industry, well, yeah.
Well, OnlyFans, no, just OnlyFans.
Doing OnlyFans? Nah. I got mates who do it, man, and they make bang.
Do they?
Yeah.
Good.
Like, do you?
I do.
It's my job, ain't it?
It's just my main income, so I don't really have to, do anything else. So, it's all good. It pays the bills. Yeah.
I don't think I've thought of... Well, I guess I have thought about it, but only in the sense of, like, I don't know how it would work for me because I market myself as, like, a comedy clown.
And so that's the thing. It doesn't just because it's OnlyFans, it doesn't necessarily have to be whoring.
It's
you
not
know
a
what
sexual
I mean?
one.
You don't have to be wholesale.
Yeah.
You can do anything.
People do like toe ones, like feet.
Oh, but not. What I mean is that you don't even have to really. It doesn't have to be sexual. Do you know what I mean? Like heaps of people do all sorts of different things on OnlyFans, but it's just the host that really ran with it. That's why it's so.
And make the money, probably.
Hey.
Me like trying to sell a joke on OnlyFans, me being like, unlock, I'm telling some teenage jokes. It's gonna be crack up. I'm wearing a turtleneck, but
Subscribe.
Yeah, I don't think it's much of a selling point, to be honest. I tell jokes for free, so it'd be smarter to monetize it, probably. Can you give us a little bit of background of like how you got into the mahi you're doing now?
Yeah. So I was living in Melbourne at the time, and I'd always worked in like call centres. That had been my main mahi. Was just like I left school when I was like 15 from Oporiki College, and moved up here and was working at a call centre somewhere around here actually. And then just did that for like 10 years. And I was in Melbourne and I got fired from a call centre job for wearing a shirt.
What?
It said pussy is a privilege or something. It was some feminist shit. And then anyway, I got fired for it.
Pussy is a privilege.
And then I was like, bro, no benefit over there. So I had to sort it out. And I had friends that were in the industry. And she goes, okay, you just need to do this, this, this. And I was like, okay, all right. And then anyway, I wrote an ad. Didn't know what the hell to write. I just knew I'd worked in sales, so I knew some of this, you know. And then didn't know what photos to put up, anything like that, but just did it. And then this couple hit me back, and they did everything right, you know. They gave the deposit, they gave ID, da-da-da-da-da. I was scared as fuck. And yes, I was about 40 minutes from where I was living, and I just showed up to the house, and I'd never been with a couple before that. And a lady was like head to toe latex. She had the thigh-high boots. Ooh. She had the latex like mini dress on and a cap.
A cap?
Yeah, like a, you know, like a sergeant
like a
cap.
suit.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
latex vibe.
I was like a trucker's cap. I was like random.
No.
Like a sexy cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like hectic. I was like, she was a little bit older. She was maybe probably about 40. And then I walked in and her partner was there. He was probably like about 50, 55. And then there was like a mattress. Then there was like porn playing on the TV. And then there was like a big suitcase full of toys. And I was like, I just got to wing it. Money to pay my rent. I needed $700 to pay my rent for the month. Yeah. And then I was just like, yo, like I'm having a fun time. And I remember, leaving and just having the money and being like, yeah, I never want to not do this. And then after that, I found it very hard. I kept doing it because the fast cash was very addictive. Yeah. So I was, then eventually I just couldn't justify going back to working an office job where I was working maybe 40 hours to get something I could get in 2 hours, you know?
Yeah.
And then it just really took off from there, I guess. Yes.
Can you remember like anything you put in your first ad? Because you said you just like
and I am not saying it on fucking camera.
Wait, don't give away your business secrets. Don't give away.
I just figured it. I just thought to myself, how can I tap into these guys' heads? You know, how can I sell whatever they're looking for? And that's kind of what I went for. But I remember I kept the same ad for 5 years. I never changed it, and it was loose as, you know, my grammar's shit. But it worked. It worked. The photos worked. Everything worked. Anyway, it went from like working, just at home or with friends, and then it went to like touring and like bigger things, and then like international vibes, and then I fell in love, and then I stopped it for a bit, and then I got into OnlyFans. Yeah, and then so probably about 2018, that's when I started doing OnlyFans, and then really started doing it with my partner. And then I would always go back I'll just do a tour every now and then, you know, like go to either Sydney or Melbourne, and just do a tour is like when you go to a city and you just put an ad up and
like
work. I don't know. Exactly. For pussy. That was the vibe. And but I've stopped doing full service now, and I'm just doing or online or OnlyFans with my new partner.
Oh.
Cool. Yeah.
What does the term full service mean?
When you're selling a whole, like penetration.
Right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And so there's
sex.
Yeah.
That's what it
But
is.
there's like varying levels of. Can we talk a little bit about like when you're getting booked by these people?
Yeah.
How do you like ensure your safety? Like how are you vetting these people?
Yeah.
Because I imagine it can get pretty hectic.
Yeah. Luckily for me, I've never been in a situation where I haven't felt in control.
Cool.
And I think that's just because in Aussie, I know I was a big bitch, you know. And in New Zealand, bro, when you from New Zealand and Aussie, they just think you'll give them a hiding. And I can't fight for shit. Never had a fight in my life. But yeah, that was the buzz. So I never had men trying to fuck with me or anything like that.
Yeah.
But what I would usually do is we had an app, it's called True Caller. You just ping their number through that.
Yeah.
And otherwise you'd ask for ID, either like a picture of their license or a photo of them holding up the date, you know, with the date written on
Like
a
a
piece of
newspaper?
paper. Yeah. And also telling like another worker, hey, look, I'm going to this address.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be there for 2 hours, just having a check-in person. And looking them up on sites. But you can't do that with everyone. But with outcalls, I would say, yes, I would do that. I do that with outcalls.
Yeah. I've also heard, like, some of my friends are sex workers, and along the line, like, sometimes there's, like, sort of whisper networks of, like, if this number texts you, like, waste of time.
Oh,
like,
yeah. There's like networks. There was one, I was in heaps of groups in Aussie, and you could just put their number in and it'll come up with all their history.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, like if they've been good to workers, if they've tried to rip them off, you know, if they've tried to stealth them, which is taking the condom off, you know,
Does
without
New Zealand
knowing.
does New Zealand have that? Like, is New Zealand's sex industry as big or as safe as the ones we have in Australia?
The men are more the men are ugly kids here. Well, not ugly kids, but like the men are more respectful in Aussie.
Yeah.
The men here will try and barter with you. I've worked.
We're not the market, no.
I've worked here 2 times in New Zealand. I've only worked really in Aussie. So my 2 times, one was in Wellies. That was okay. But then I went to Christchurch once and I thought, fuck, I don't know how these girls in New Zealand do it. Maybe I was just being precious, but it was hard. It was hard. And I was like, just because they don't have as much money as Aussie men, I guess, and high rollers, but
The bartering is, like,
I hate it.
wild to me.
Yeah. They're like,
Like
oh, sorry, too much, love. They're too much. And they think, oh, because you're a fat girl, that you're going to undercharge yourself or anything like that, because that's probably what they're used to, but not me. No way.
No, I'm like, you can
Yeah.
pay more. Do you know, like, you're not Briscoe's, not doing big discounts. Like,
Yeah. You don't go to the gas station and go, oh, sorry, bro, can I just get that for 200 instead of 250? No.
Is there, I don't know if this is an insensitive question, but like, do people in the sex industry, do they have like sales days? Like,
I don't.
no sales days, no.
Oh, everyone does their own different buzz and
'Cause
has
it's
their own way of
yeah.
marketing and
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
like that. And I'm sure there are women who do, you know, have specials and things like that. But not me. On OnlyFans, yeah, I do.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I'll never do sex work here. I like full service here in New Zealand, I think. Yeah, I think I'm just only in Sydney when I want to every now and then.
Not if it's not worth it, you can get it on OnlyFans at home.
Exactly, because I went to tour Sydney maybe like a month ago.
Yeah.
And did some mahi there, and I worked, and I was like, I'm just getting just what I would get on OnlyFans anyway, you know. So I was like, I might as well just do OnlyFans. Yeah.
Well, then you don't have to, like, travel, like,
It's
the
fun though. It's
meeting.
fun, you know. Like it is fun going for a
Meeting
little.
new
out and about.
Yeah, going for a little spend. I like spending money.
Yeah.
I like Sydney for a little while, you know. So it's kind of like going on a holiday where you can just spend money.
But now you're on the digital content. Do you know, like, the analytics or, like, the insights of your audience? Like, do you know, like, a gender split or an age or, like...
No, you can't. I don't think you can look at those sort of details, but a lot of them are American men.
Yeah.
And Australia and New Zealand. Before it, I never used to have many subs in New Zealand, but yeah, predominantly America and Aussie.
Are they just the men over there more willing to chuck the cash out, or compared to New Zealand men, do you think, or New Zealand men, but
Oh yeah, I
cheap?
mean the economy is way better in Aussie and America, you know what I mean, and they know how to spend money on girls. They don't know how to spend money on girls in New Zealand.
yeah.
No offence.
No, full offence.
You know, actually, full offence. Yeah. But also, there's half wahine, half men. You know what I mean? Like, so the women like to come on for like the sucking tutorials, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And like, they like to come in to see maybe another, you know, like a fat wahine or someone who doesn't maybe fit into the stereotypical, I don't know, OnlyFans girl.
Yeah.
And they're like, this bitch can do it. Do you know what I mean? And if you allow yourself to be free, you allow everyone else to be free, you know? So yeah, I guess that's why chicks like to tune in as well and have a look. And probably lesbians and stuff too.
Yeah, I think like straight up like, all my like queer wahine mates, I'm like, oh okay, you're following. Like I'm like, okay, like I think yeah, maybe there are some that are there to be like sort of share some of your light. But I think some of my mates just
Crushing.
feel horny about you.
Aw.
Yeah.
Having a bit of a bless them.
Shout out to the horny mates.
Yeah, shout out to you.
Love you. Can I get in there? You said briefly that you left or Portuguese college when you were 15.
Yeah.
How was
15 or 16, yeah.
Like, how was it coming from a small? I mean, it's a small town.
It's hectic, bro. Like I've lived so many different lives. It's
Yeah.
so because I grew up in West Auckland, you know, so that's pretty like bogan vibes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
a
then
little bit, yeah.
head down to a Portuguese where it's predominantly Māori, or you're either Māori or you're a rich white farmer. Do you know what I mean? You're either in the mob or you're either a rich white farmer. So, sorry, I keep banging that. Yeah, no, it was a lot. I remember being 15 and being like, I want to get the fuck out of here. I want to get as further away from a Portuguese as I possibly can because I just didn't want to be associated. This was when I was on a different buzz, you know. Yeah, and then took off to Auckland and then started working in the call centres and living in South Auckland with my best friend who was 21. Yeah, and then started like partying and stuff from very like 14, Guadas. No, there was like a popular club out west, South Auckland. Do you know Guadas? Real one. Yeah, so I used to go there and just, when I was a kid, just, Yeah, so that's when I left school. Was never an academic, you know what I mean? I was pretty onto it in like earlier days at like intermediate and stuff, and then just started smoking, I guess, and just partying.
Bored of school.
Yeah, over it. Don't need it.
Well, there's like no doubt. Like you're very smart. You just are
absolutely.
very
I mean, with the
intelligent.
business, marketing, like all of that.
For sure, yeah. No, I don't doubt that.
Yeah. I'm not selling myself short. I'm just saying, still wasn't for me.
Yeah, no, I think like coming into my later years, like I think like I maybe had a bit of learning difficulties and stuff like that with like ADHD and stuff like that and not being able to focus and yeah. So maybe that's why school wasn't my buzz. Yeah. But I never thought in a million years, like, you know, my mum was a single mum on the benefit, you know, we had Nan and stuff like that. But I've never had access to the kind of, you know, money that I've had access to. You know, I've never been able, no one could, you know, not no one, but, you know, it's, you think, oh, I have to be fucking brainy, or I have to get this, or I have to do this to be successful, or to have nice shit, or whatever. You don't, bro. You just need to know how to hustle.
Yeah.
That's honestly, that's it. And you can do it legally. You don't have to do it illegally. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can do it online. And there's so much opportunity to make money online, not just with like OnlyFans and stuff like that. But hey, if sorry,
You're all good.
but hey, if it is your buzz, yeah. Go for it, I reckon.
Do your whānau know?
Yeah. My mum.
And your nan? You said you had a nan before.
Yep. So my mum, I'd left like a burner phone at her house by accident or something like that. And she goes, oh, are you a lady of the night, da-da-da? And she was making a joke out of it. And I said, no, Mum, that was my friend's phone, da-da-da. And she goes, oh, anyway, even if you were, I wouldn't judge you and I'll support you.
Aww.
So that was cool, yeah. And then I told Nan, who was a more conservative woman, that I am doing sex work now, and she just goes, oh yeah, I guessed, I assumed you were. Yeah. So it's always been all good. I've never had anyone giving me any sort of bad buzz or anything like that, and even if they do, that's their buzz.
Yeah,
it's not my buzz.
It's their problem.
They're probably just maybe bitter and broke, I don't know.
It's on them to work through, eh? It's like not your...
Yeah, that's what I just think. Delusion all the way.
That's a way to live life.
It actually is.
Because I think when I first followed you on Instagram, it was under the username FireFatClip.
That's what I started following you
ages
too.
ago. That was when I first got back from Melbourne after
name.
Aussie.
Oh yeah, we're OGs.
That handle just, I was like, fire that clip, follow, and then saw it, and then I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And
What-
you were
wait, how
open.
did you come up with that name?
Yeah.
Self-explanatory. No, I just say, sometimes I'm just like blazing. I just think of words and I honestly, just because I've had about probably 50 accounts be deleted off the internet,
Yeah.
I just make up, I don't even care anymore. I just make up names that don't even really make sense.
Well, I'm always trying to like find you. Your accounts, they're there for 2 days and then like.
I know. And
Fortuny.
now it's like 2 weeks. Now, because my account was at 24,000, now I can't even barely get past 3,000 before it's just deleted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just have to live it. Delusion. I just don't care about it anymore. Like every time it happens, I'm just yeah.
Yeah, you can't feel that like, you can't feel fully gutted every time it happens. You'd be feeling fully gutted every 2
All the
weeks.
time. Yeah, all the time. So maybe I've just got to rein it in online. I've tried to rein it in, but it just seems never to work.
Why are your accounts getting taken down?
Yeah.
Because you're not like,
Because now it's not even a thing where I'm doing any guidelines. It's this thing where people fuck with your account. If they
Yeah.
know your email address, they will. You get this notification saying, "Oh, there's suspicious activity on your
I
account,"
get that all the time.
and then you have to log back in it, and then it won't let you do it. It won't let you log back in. That's what happens to me, anyways. Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
Do you feel like that's competitors, other girls trying to block you?
Oh, it could be anyway. Heaps
Block
of
your
people
shot.
fucking hate me, you know. Like, it could be fucking anyone. But yeah, most probably that. But you just got to let it not affect you or not stop you, and you just have to come up on top of it every time it comes. You know, you just got to, yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's affecting your hustle.
It's not.
Like
That's
your-
why I don't care. It doesn't
Yeah,
affect
yeah.
my bag.
The day it affects your money, then you're like,
We got a
hey, what's
problem.
happening? What's happening here?
No one will be popping off. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I think we were talking. I actually don't know if we should, but we were talking the other day, yesterday, I think, about how I remember there was a photo that you had of, because you've had like a few, I want to say beefs, yeah,
Yeah.
with other like influencers or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Here we go.
You know where I'm going, eh?
Yeah.
There was like, I think a guy who reposted a photo of you in a bikini and you could see pubes.
Oh yes. So yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
And
That's when I first
that
followed
blew
you,
up.
yeah.
That's when I first blew up in New Zealand because I had always had a following over in Aussie on social media, but because I'd never lived back home in all that time.
Yeah.
And then I moved back home, and here Holly May comes, this fat bitch in a bikini back to New Zealand, where everyone's like, "Ah!" They don't know how to take it, bro. It's funny. But yeah, and then so I think what I got some G-strings from the warehouse or something, and they were just like, the front bit was so small. Yeah, anyway, that happened and that blew up.
Yeah.
And so what they were doing is they were all like had the phone and they were all in a circle, like, and they were all these like Aussie sort of influencer, like moldy influencer people. Yeah, and I just called them out and fucking went in and handled it
Yeah.
accordingly.
Handled accordingly. Also,
Ta-ta! Bye bye.
but I'm also like, you didn't frickin' like sew the undies. Like, have you seen undies these days? Like,
Yeah,
not
well,
my
they don't.
clothes
Well,
not
did you
covering
see the
anything.
girls? They were just all skinny, pretty. You know what I mean? Like all conventionally attractive.
Yeah.
You know, appearance girls. So I can understand why that was probably shocking to them because it contradicts everything all the values that they hold themselves by. You know.
I'm like, if you have a vagine that fits in undies, I can't relate to you. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how
Too
you live
fat.
life. Yeah. Yeah.
Awkward.
You're like thinking about your undies real hard right now.
Moving on. Do you? There's this. I'm getting the feeling that the sex work in New Zealand is like compared to Aussie
Yeah.
and America. Like,
Probably just because it's a much, much, much smaller country. You know, with way different economy. Yeah, and I'd say and Aussie, and I've never been to America, but yeah, in Aussie it's just Sydney's a really big city with a lot of money. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's all I knew. So coming here, it was like,
is there like a sex industry like union? Like, is there any kind of like organisation in New Zealand that helps? Because it's legal.
Scarlet
can't
Alliance. Oh, wait, is Scarlet Alliance here in Aussie? Yeah, look, I'm a bit useless.
Well, I mean, they can Google it.
Yeah, there's Red Umbrella. Red Umbrella is in Aussie. But yes, there is a hooker organisation here where you can get stuff, free stuff as well, that I know about, yeah.
Push.
like to
That's
practice it safely. And like with OnlyFans, like, is it hard to put on OnlyFans? Like, are people scared that people are gonna like screenshot it or screen record it?
If you're going to be like that, then OnlyFans is not for you. If you're
Yeah.
going to be like that, hooking is not for you. If you're scared, oh, my mum's going to find out, oh, my
Yeah.
dad's, go work at McDonald's. Hooking's not for you. You know, you have to
Yeah.
be a certain type of bitch. You have to be able to control, you know, environments and hold your own. And if you don't, you'll get walked all over. You know, you'll get chewed up and spat out. So, yeah, if you worry about people seeing it or people knowing, then yeah, you can't be like that. So no, I'm not like that. I don't care whoever sees my shit. I know if I put it up, it's good. So look at it. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
think that's
So get in there.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's a great segue into what things do you think people should consider before getting into sex work? Like, what kind of people are good at it?
Yeah.
What kind of people, like you've mentioned, you know, if you're going to be precious about screenshots and stuff, it's not going to work.
You have to be, I would say, confident or be able to fake confidence, because the minute that a John, a punter,
Yeah.
can smell that you don't know what you're doing, he's gonna roll you.
Yeah,
Are you okay with everybody seeing your holes?
yeah,
Are you okay for everybody to be seeing your shit? If it's no, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you going to put your face in or online, or are you going to keep your face hidden? Probably, if you are, to keep your face hidden when you first get into it, because that can affect when you travel, you know, when you go places like America and things like that, it can affect your travel. You need to think how you're going to transition out of the industry. You need to realise that you're probably going to pick up a pretty bad spending habit and get addicted to fast money and never be able to get out of it. And you need to think, how can you handle yourself in fucked up situations? How can you handle yourself? Are you a strong person who can say no to hectic, you know, to drugs and stuff like that, or are you easily there's heaps of shit, you know what I mean? Because it's a different world. It is a different world. And if I've done it puffing, like I've done it when I was on meth and when I was straight, after I got straight. And it was two different games, you know, like when you're puffing, you're not thinking business savvy, you're thinking, oh, I'm in love,
yeah.
oh, I'm so hot, you know, and then, oh, I'm going to stay the whole night for free. Just because you're so hot. But when you're straight and you're not drinking and you're not doing any of that, you're thinking on business, money,
Next
money,
one.
you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, that's I'd say what you need to think about.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like, people always, you know, say things like, "Oh, this is too hard. I'm going to become a stripper. I'm going to make an OnlyFans." I'm like,
they don't have it.
you
Go
don't
work at
have the
McDonald's.
work ethic.
You don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have it. Like if you're saying, then do it. Do you know what I mean? If you're saying that, then just do it. You can't.
Prove it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Because
a lot of girls think that they can, you know, make a profile and, you know, they'll probably have it up for a few months and then realise it does take mahi. You know, it does take a lot of mahi.
Yeah.
Especially if you haven't already got like a following or an audience. Like starting yourself up from the ground is pretty hard. I was lucky because I have been on social media for a while, you know, so I have had that following.
Yeah, shout out to the influencers who tried to cancel you but made you money.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shout out to you.
You said before you need to think about your transition out of the industry. Have you thought about your transition out of the industry, or?
Yeah, well, that's slowly like what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
You know, so I announced that I'm like no longer doing full service anymore.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm doing to OnlyFans. So what we want to do is just kind of make money on OnlyFans. And even though that is still in the industry, we want to then looking at doing things after we make a bit of money.
Yeah.
And then do that together.
I may have understood it wrong, but it sounds like OnlyFans is like more on your own terms as opposed to like your full service stuff.
What do you mean?
Like the way you talk about OnlyFans and doing that with your partner.
Yep.
It sounds as if you have more control.
Oh yeah,
of
full
everything.
control, control. Yeah, over all. We decide so with OnlyFans, you get what you give. Do you know what I mean? And the more you put in, and the more you get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we kind of just we do it. We have certain days where we are scheduled to record.
Yeah.
And then we post once. So we record once a week.
Yeah.
And you and your partner, this is like for people, I would like to think you're doing it. You guys do it all of it yourself, like Like, you know, you're
Or
not
just
just
me and
doing the
him?
sex work. Yeah, you're like the editor, the cameraman.
Well, I said to
or
him.
do you like?
No, yeah,
contract
well, that's
that
what
out?
I'm training him to do. So I'm
Oh,
training
yeah.
him to do all the editing, but at the moment, I'm just paying someone to edit them because that's the most punishing part of it all is the editing.
Yeah.
So you kind of do a lot, eh? You're a bit of a film crew as well.
Yeah,
You,
yeah. So
yourself.
what I told him, if we're going to do this together, since I've got the audience and the fame,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can do the editing and you can do the filming and you can get all the angles and everything like that. And he's happy to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, yeah.
Do you reckon OnlyFans? Do you reckon OnlyFans has like changed your like personal sex life with your partner? Like, are you ever having like awesome sex with your partner? You're like get the ring light or like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. yeah. It's like just when he gets in certain positions or when he's doing something completely out of this world. Then I'm like, he just does it on himself because I'm like, all recording is up to him. So he's good like that.
Yeah. That's nice that you're like sharing's caring. This is awesome. The world should see it. That's nice.
Yeah, it's a kink. I mean, he probably gets off on being seen, you know, just as much as I do. Exhibitionist vibes.
Yeah.
And we capitalise off it. So yeah.
Do you like have a idea of when, like, how many years you want to start getting out and like, kind of what you want to do after? I mean, like, if you want to get into this, don't think you can go back to teaching after this. Like, you know.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah. What kind of teacher are you? I mean, the good ones. Just like, what do you have an idea of how long you want to stay in the OnlyFans or like? What
I don't know. I'm kind of just
go with the
freestyling
flow.
at the
Yeah.
moment. I just have a goal of how much money I want to make. And then when I get to that goal, I want to do other things. And then we'll get, but probably, I'm looking at 5 years.
Yeah.
I want to really crack it and try and crack it on there, yeah.
Yeah, I've got heaps of mates who are on OnlyFans and they're on there to meet a certain goal and then they want to, that's the money
Exactly.
they're going to use for their business ventures. I
Yeah.
mean,
And
Kim
it's
Kardashian
easy.
done it, eh? She showed the
Kim
world.
K. Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
And I love her because she's not an academic either. You know what I mean? And she just cracked, and she's a dumb bitch too. That's why I love her because she's a dumb bitch that cracked it. You know, I love you, Kim. But
Shout
I
out
looked
to
up to her. I've looked up to her a lot, and I know she does a lot of dumb shit. I know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I've got a love-hate relationship with the Kardashians,
Yeah.
but I love them really.
love their hustle, bro. I love their hustle. Yeah.
Would you ever consider doing like mainstream porn, like for like a, I don't know.
No.
Nah.
No, I don't reckon.
How does that differ?
Because I wouldn't be in control of
Oh,
the
it's like
money.
mainstream
There it
porn,
is.
like the
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
like on your Pornhubs or
Websites, yeah.
yeah.
Because
Nah.
and with Pornhub, I
Yeah.
guess if you have heaps of, you get paid per views. You know what I mean? So you have to get heaps of views up. So I prefer OnlyFans because I'm doing it all myself. I'm controlling everything myself.
Yeah.
With that, it's, you know, someone on OnlyFans is consenting to their content being up, but on Pornhub sometimes, it's more people get exploited on there and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you like come across or like been shocked to see some of your stuff on any of those? Like, has anyone? Have you found
For the
that?
first time, I didn't care.
Yeah, it's like, let's go more marketing.
promo.
Yeah, true.
For the first time, my mate was like, "Oh my gosh, your videos are finally on Reddit," and I had a look, and I was like, "Funny." It was just one of me sucking dick, and I was like, "Yeah, it's all good." But that's the first time it's ever happened. It's never happened to me.
Aw.
Yeah. But it doesn't bother me. If
Yeah,
if I'm posting something on the internet, I'm
Hey.
obviously okay with it, so I don't care if it's
Don't
posted
hope
more.
it stays in that one
Yeah.
place, hey, not on the internet.
Yeah.
It's more promo
Yeah.
anyway. When people think that they leak nudes, like I remember when I first been on TikTok, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're a party trick, auntie." Da 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 da, and I'm thinking, oh, how do these kids all know about this shit? And then it was on Reddit. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so even TikTok people knew about it, but I didn't.
You gotta live life.
Yeah.
I think it's real fascinating to me how like when you're on Instagram, the way like you get some of the girlies over to the OnlyFans is you're like, hey, like I'm gonna do some tutorials, like feel free. I'm gonna tell some stories, like it's cool.
They love the dick sucking tutorials, and they just love seeing shit that they've never seen. You know, they love
Yeah.
seeing a fat, confident girl. You know,
Yeah.
especially the other fatties. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It gave me heaps of confidence doing this. I was never this confident before I got into sex work.
Yeah.
Especially with my body and everything like that. Yeah, now you can't stop me.
Have you had big chicks hit you up and just kind of like,
Have I had what?
like big chicks hit you up and be like, thanks, sis? Hey, like-
heaps. And I love those ones the most. Yeah. Oh, I've had messages through all out the years, you know, of girls just thanking me and for them being more comfortable in their sexuality and in their body with, you know, just doing what they want to do and living how they want to live. Yeah, so that's a really nice thing for people to say to you.
You've talked a little bit about being on meth and then sort of coming clean. How was that for you?
I guess, you know, with the industry, it's there. It's there. It's getting offered to you most every booking, and it makes the booking way easier than it would be straight. So it's very hard. It's very hard not to puff when you're working. But yeah, I just realised, I guess after time, not only was I making poor decisions when I was on meth and seeing and being around men who are just depraved and shit like that, the men who book you like sober and don't do drugs and everything, it's just too it doesn't give you as much. Like, say if you took a meth booking, right, not only are you, is this what I'm talking about? Yeah. Not only are you just going to do the meth booking for that one night, it's going to affect you for like a week, you know, so you're going to be out of work. You're going to be losing more money on top of the money that you just already lost. But yeah, you just don't really get yourself into good situations when you're not sober and fully thinking things straight out. And when I noticed when I was working, when I was not drinking or not doing any drugs, I was just making better decisions, growing faster, and
Like any job, eh? The drugs will make you do stupid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like in any job, being not on meth does make it easier.
Staying off meth makes your job easier, partner. It does, though.
That's our tagline.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for talking
Thanks
to us.
thanks for having me, you guys.
You are so
necking.
crack up. Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry,
you
guys.
just talked us. No apologies needed. You just talked us through like your whole career. That's tiring.
I know, I'm sweating.
Yeah. You've had such a cool journey, and it was so cool of you to share that with us and be so open. So
Of
thank
course.
you.
Hopefully you
I'm
get
just
more
trying to set for longer. We could have had a drinky after this or something.
Well, no, but I'm done at Wellington lot, so we'll definitely
for
redeem
sure.
that.
Yeah.
I want to redeem that drinky.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for this episode. Obviously, we start conversations, tip of the iceberg, keep having them in your own homes. I'm one of your hosts, Janaye Henry.
I'm Turia Schmidt-Picky. We were joined by...
Holly May Neho.
Ka kite.
Subscribe.